Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
You're quite a man, Mr. James.
We're too late.
Well, at least he died on the job.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fun-filled James Bond 007 film countdown.
We shall see a new power dominating the world,
where style, sophistication, and suspense reign supreme. With his unmistakable charisma, sharp wit, and unwavering bravery, I want to introduce you to Sean Connery. Connery's Bond captured the essence of the suave secret agent, skilled in combat, suave with women, and always up for a dangerous mission. In this countdown, I'm going to deliver the legacy of one of the most iconic characters in cinematic history. I am going to do all 7 films, including Never Say Never Again, in this countdown because he was James Bond in that movie.
But as you're one of these undercover Johnnies, I took a precaution of not being followed.
And that's why you shouted my name across the harbor.
Yes, I know it is not part of the official canon, but why not? He played the character in it and he did a great job. Let's get right into this with what I think is the worst James Bond movie, perhaps in the entire series. And you're going to say, what? Well, this one ushered in what I consider to be the campy era of the James Bond series, the 70s, and what Roger Moore would actually kind of be more successful at, but Sean Connery was definitely not. Anyway. It's a lot worse than that. What is it you're going to say? Well, it's Diamonds Are Forever. That's right. I think Diamonds Are Forever is definitely a phoned-in chapter of the Sean Connery film series. So let's get right into number 7.
Bond. James Bond.
Diamonds are forever.
Welcome to hell, Blofeld.
They are all I need.
Who are you?
My name is Bond. James Bond.
Yes, that's right. Diamonds Are Forever is in the number 7 spot, and that is for good reason. And that is that the film's potential was there, but sadly, the silly moments and the lack of a memorable opening and a clumsy climax, we get a burlesque approach to the Bond films, which to me reminds me of the TV shows of the 70s, and it's more episodic in its approach and less cinematic. It's a darn shame, I gotta tell you, for Sean Connery to go out like that, but he does get one more chance, and we'll get into that film later. This would usher in a focus on camp, silly humor, and one-liners that deliver entertaining moments for sure.
Hi, I'm Plenty.
But of course you are.
Plenty O'Toole.
Named after your father, perhaps?
You know, and I really enjoyed the scene where Plenty O'Toole gets picked up and thrown out of the window and somehow miraculously lands in the pool, followed by what I think is one of the funniest lines in the movie.
Exceptionally fine shot.
I didn't know there was a pool down there.
It does seem to me like it has the worst villain of the piece, and then the fact that they've recast Blofeld more times than Batman in far less amount of films.
Good evening, 007.
Known mostly as a character actor, Charles Gray really was not a menacing Blofeld and was poorly cast in this role, which really hurt the film. He had appeared in a previous Bond film, You Only Live Twice, as the short-lived Mr. Henderson.
Do come in.
Definitely a role that he was more suited to play.
Mr. Henderson?
At your service.
But bringing him back as Blofeld this quickly in the series was, I think a poor choice on the producers, and I think they should have stuck to the original idea of having the plot focused around Goldfinger's twin brother. And he would have been played by Gert Frobel again, and I would have enjoyed seeing this play out.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
I would compare it to Die Hard with a Vengeance.
He's Hans Gruber's brother.
Hans Gruber's brother has come back for revenge, and this is a great premise. But yes, there are positives, of course, with the Academy Award nomination for Best Sound, and of course that classic Shirley Bassey song. We get a true symphony of sound to embellish this film, an absolute highlight. John Barry has become known and synonymous with the Bond franchise.
So, she didn't know anything about what's Goldfinger. I said, it's a villain, Shirley. He's the villain.
So yes, John Barry is instrumental in bringing the James Bond world to life with his sounds. And I'll get into John Barry a little later in the countdown, but right now, it seems to me like in every single Bond documentary and review that I've seen, they always talk about the Bond girl. So why should this video be any different?
And it sounds a little something like this. X15275.
And in this particular film, we get Jill St. John as Tiffany Case, the first American Bond girl, being that this film was mainly set in Las Vegas, which does actually take away from the exotic feel that the Bond films usually have, and that's another reason why Diamonds Are Forever is on the list. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to our Bond girl. Jill St. John was, well, not my personal favorite Bond girl. I think that she's one of the lower ranking ones. Her character is argumentative, loud, and quite a brash persona. She can be quite abrasive at times. I would definitely put her ahead of Christmas Jones in The World Is Not Enough.
Jones. Christmas Jones. And don't make any jokes, I've heard them all.
Never mix business with pleasure.
Well, neither do I.
Good.
So yeah, I really didn't feel any chemistry between Tiffany Case and James Bond in the film. It's really, the movie is pretty flat all the way through. There are some good moments. I really think the most exciting part of the movie was when James Bond was put in this casket and put into the crematorium, and of course the flames are wrapping around him, and you're wondering how is he going to get out of this situation? And of course, boom, he's let out.
You dirty double-crossing limey Finkos, goddamn diamonds are phonies.
No surprise there that Bond would survive this, but it still added some moments of tension. Lest we forget that awesome elevator fight scene, I thought that was amazing as well.
If God had wanted man to fly,
He would have given him wings.
Yes, all Bond films have to have the required henchmen, and some of them definitely eclipse the very supervillain that they work for, and here is a prime example where we get Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd.
How everyone who touches those diamonds seems to die.
Who are a sadistic pair that take pleasure in their work, and they complete each other's sentences delightfully using humorous puns. They are both very entertaining, and yes, this pair is a very big plus to this otherwise lackluster Bond film. The astute Bond lover will, of course, overlook some of the foibles that are a product of the times that this film came out.
Son, we've been expecting you. You got any personal business to take care of in there, you go right ahead.
Okay, well, it's definitely time to score Diamonds Are Forever. I think Diamonds Are Forever is kind of that transitional Bond film going from the old gritty Connery style to the more Roger Moore style. This one here is kind of low ranking. I kind of put it down in the bottom tier along with films like Die Another Day and perhaps Moonraker. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a nice even 5.0. It's not horrible. It's not great. There's lots of good moments. It's very campy at times. It's Sean Connery, so what could go wrong, right? Anyway, Diamonds Are Forever is like a glittering cocktail of absurdity, elegance, and Bond-level eyebrow rolling. It starts off with Sean Connery rocking a suit so sharp it could slice through a diamond, and that's before we even talk about the actual diamonds. This movie doesn't make too much sense, but who cares when you have Connery on the screen looking like he just wandered in after an intense nap, still managing to outwit henchmen and disarm gadgets with a single raised eyebrow. Oh, and let's not forget the iconic moon buggy chase. Yeah, that's right out of the Dukes of Hazzard. Because when you're driving around the Nevada desert, nothing screams high-stakes action like a vehicle from a kid's toy store. The whole thing is an exercise in glamour, with Bond navigating high society like he's been snacking on diamonds for breakfast. Diamonds Are Forever is definitely a great film, and a bad film at the same time. You can never go wrong with any James Bond movie. In my opinion, there's good things and bad things about all of them. Diamonds Are Forever is definitely worth being in last place. Maybe of the entire franchise, I don't know. Die Another Day is a good contender for that one spot. Anyway, what is number 6 you're going to say? Well, tune in, same Bond time, same Bond channel. This is Greg with Midnight at the Movies, and I'll see you there.